through today?
Just a little hit and miss. The hits I can live with. The walks are a little frustrating. But yeah, I think it's just a product of it being early. Just still getting a feel for my body, still getting a feel for the strike zone too. There were a couple challenge calls that are going to be strikes probably during the season and didn't go our way. So it is what it is.
You said early this spring that efficiency was a huge focal point for you this year. And like you just mentioned, obviously, the game gets called a lot differently in Grapefruit League action. How do you feel like you've made progress on efficiency this spring?
Yeah, well, I've learned what not to do, which isn't exactly where you want to be. But, I mean, it's a work in progress. I think this is my first spring training, first legit spring training, and it feels different. So I'm still trying to put a finger on it, because I know, I mean, the finger, starts pointing at me. So I'm still trying to figure out what it is on my end that I need to do, but also hitters' approaches are a little bit different. So just trying to figure out how to navigate that. But yeah, I mean, I'm but nothing's changed. That's still the goal. So just got to keep working for it, basically, toward it.
What has this first real spring training been like for you? I mean, this time last year it was short starts to open the season and expectations, and you fulfilled them. But this is all kind of new to you, right? What are you adjusting to, and what have been some of the biggest adjustments this spring?
Yeah, it's just different. And maybe I'm saying this because I'm still in it, but it feels longer a little bit. Not in a good or bad way. It just feels a little longer, and it just feels different. So yeah, the games are different. Obviously, facing guys 3 times through earlier than I did last year. It's just a little bit different. So still trying to kind of put my finger on what the differences are, but it feels different more than anything.
Have you thought about the team? How the team's looking this year. Obviously, you guys did great for a while last year. Did pretty good for a while, and then we hit the skids in August. Or in some new additions. What are your thoughts about the expectations for the team this year?
Yeah, I mean, within the locker room, we know who we are. We know our identity. I can't tell you about the expectations outside of the locker room, but none of that matters. So I think we've done a really good job getting on it early, of just like keeping everything within the locker room, and kind of just letting all the outside stuff be outside stuff. So we'll see. As the locker room gets smaller, as we make cuts and that kind of thing. I mean, we have, in my opinion, figured out our identity and gotten into our identity a lot earlier than we did last year. So we were playing good baseball at times last year, and we weren't at other times. And that's the times that we weren't, we kind of let it spiral, and that's why we missed the playoffs. That's why we weren't in it at the end of the year. So we just got to control what we can control every single day, and let everything play out. Nothing matters outside of this locker room.
Yeah, you said identity a couple times. How would you describe the Pirates' identity right now?
Couldn't tell you, but we know it. I think the good teams that I've been on, we can't really I don't think you can really put a finger on it. But obviously the identity of the group, but also guys knowing their identity within the group. That's happening to a larger degree, I think, this year. So I can't articulate it to you like our identity is like this, because we are still trying to figure it out. But the guys, I think, are bought into the idea that this is what the Pirates are going to be. We're going to do it at a very high level, and and kind of let it happen as it happens, I guess.
You're the one most identified with the Splinker. So how did you come up with this pitch as a patented pitch for yourself? And are you dabbling with any? I think you have 4 pitches that you generally use now. Do you have a couple others that you're dabbling with too?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always tinkering, frankly. That's how the Splinker came about. you know, it's kind of amazing what you can do with the baseball if you really want to. So I'm never gonna stop doing that. You know, maybe I'll throw a knuckleball 10 years from now. Like, who knows? Maybe I'll screw around with it and try to throw that. But I think there's always going to be stuff that I'm playing around with. Splinker came about just by, you know, luck, honestly. And then I did it once in catch play and then just kept doing it. And, you know, it's what it is now. So I think that's kind of how pitch design is a little bit.
Is it how about a cutter or just a regular sinker? Have you tried those as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing around with it. Haven't used either of them a ton in spring training, but always playing around with it. And you know, I might whip out something new during the regular season too. It's just how I am.
Did you try a couple today at all?
Not the cutter,
ones?
but threw a couple, you know, regular sinkers today and worked out well.
What kind of feedback have you gotten, you know, from hitters, you know, with that sinker so far?
I've got a couple outs on it today, so that's all I need. I haven't thrown it a ton before today in spring training, but I'm happy with where it is.
You probably touched on a little bit here about pitch design and, you know, always the tinkering, but whenever you have the splinker, which you said, you know, it was kind of, you know, like a sinker last year, what kind of inspires, okay, let's just add a regular sinker on top then instead of the hybrid pitch?
Yeah, just giving another shape, I think, to, you know, for hitters to respect. You know, I'm at the point now where I'm throwing at the strike zone, so now I can throw it, and yeah, I mean, it's I think it, you know, complements my other pitch as well, just by, you know, missing barrels basically.
Apologies for asking this. I'm sure you've been asked a few times since it's become viral on the internet. You seem very personable, and I'm just wondering about, you know, when you were awarded the Rookie of the Year, you know, a lot's been made of that you didn't really react at all. What were you thinking about? I mean, you know, people are speculating that you knew you were going to win or whatever. I don't know. What was going through your mind? What do you think about all the reaction to your non-reaction?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at when Skip pulled me into the office and told me I was making, or, you know, starting opening day, it was pretty much the same reaction. It's just how I am. I didn't know I was starting opening day. I didn't know I was winning Rookie of the Year. That's just how I am. So,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you can ask my, you know, parents, my girlfriend, all that. Like, it's just how I am. So,
You got one more before opening day. What are you looking to achieve in your last spring training outing?
just get outs as quickly as possible. Again, it's like spring training's just odd. So I'm gonna treat it like a game, like a normal, you know, spring training game. So yeah, just gotta pitch my game and let it go how it goes. I think as we go on, there has not been a lot of hard contact this spring. The Grisham home run was enough for me, so that was enough hard contact for the year. So yeah, just keep limiting damage and, you know, get in the strike zone, stay in the strike zone. So that's pretty much it.
That's the thing I was going to ask you. Looking at your record, you hit a ton of home runs as a hitter. Was it easy to give up hitting, and would you ever consider, I mean, volunteering as a pinch hitter or something like that, since you obviously have a lot of power?
Yeah, well, I said that the only thing I would give up hitting for is a national championship, and we did it, so I'm not regretting it at all. It's not something I've thought about. Maybe at some point, you know, I get bored with just pitching and start hitting again. Who knows? But I'm not bored with pitching yet. So maybe somewhere down the line. I actually miss catching more than I do pitching. So yeah, I don't. When they stopped putting me in the BP groups, it was a couple week period of like, you know, dang, this sucks, and then I kind of got the hint, and it was all right, whatever. Then we won a natty, so it was worth it.
You talk about winning that national championship in college. Everybody in baseball wants to win the World Series. In these next few years, when you're under higher control, what do you think about the chances of doing that here? Does it seem like it's something that can come together with the people in this room?
Yeah, I mean, it's possible for sure. Looking from the outside in at the teams that, you know, win World Series, and I mean the playoffs too. Like, I mean, you look at the Tigers and the Guardians last year. That's kind of the blueprint a little bit. And we played the Guardians at the end of the year and might have gotten swept. They at least won 2 out of 3. I can't remember, but you know, you could tell they were different. And it's certainly possible. We just the cool thing about, you know, playing here, playing in Pittsburgh, playing for the Pirates, is that it's going to be created from within. It's not going to be us going out and signing 10 free agents and you know, having a completely new roster from year to year. It's going to be because we buy in as a team and create it from within. So it's definitely possible. We just got to make it happen.
Good fellas.